Welcome to Write with Love. I'm your host, Sarah Williams, best-selling author, speaker, and creative entrepreneur. Each week, I chat to passionate and inspiring authors about their journey in creative writing. Some are traditionally published, some do it themselves. Everyone's journey is different, and everyone has something interesting to say. We all love love and love what we do. Today's show is brought to you by our amazing fans and supporters on Patreon. If you'd like to help support the show and get some awesome bonus episodes, go to patreon.com/Sarah Williams Author to learn more. Now here's today's show. G'day, I'm Sarah Williams. Thanks for joining me for episode 74 of Write with Love. I'm recording this on Friday, May 17th, 2019. I am excited because I have just uploaded the Legacies of Brigadier Station. That's right, it's done, edited and proofed, and I am so thrilled with the result. It's out on May 28th and you can pre-order it now. It's wide, so you don't have to be on Kindle Unlimited to get it. While you're waiting for that, go ahead and read the first two in the series. The Brothers of Brigadier Station and The Sky Over Brigadier Station are already up. Yesterday actually marked my 2-year anniversary since I published The Brothers of Brigadier Station. And it also happened to be that yesterday was the day its audio version became available on Google Play. I'm still waiting for it to go live on the other platforms, but it's there on Google Play and it sounds so good. Go check it out. In a couple of weeks, I will be hosting a bunch of authors at my writers retreat here in Mullaney. We have everything from really new writers through to USA Today bestsellers coming in, and I'm preparing a couple of workshops to present to them. They will also get lots of one-on-one time with me so I can give them individual advice and help them with their writing and marketing. I have had a last-minute cancellation, so if you are interested, get in touch with me as soon as possible. If you would like to join me on another retreat, the next one will be held in the trendy beachside town of Noosa on October 18 to 21, 2019. It's strictly limited to 6 people and we will be writing, talking craft and having fun. I will also show you how to make the most out of your advertising budget and boost your sales. All the details are on my website, sarahwilliamsauthor.com. Outback Heroes is the latest multi-author box set from Serenade Publishing. This time I've teamed up with fellow Aussies Suzanne Cass, Mel A. Rowe, Liliana Rose, Cheryl Wright and Philippa Neffrey Clark. And this time the digital-only box set is wide, so if you prefer to buy on Apple Books, Google Play, Kobo, Amazon or one of the other awesome platforms, then you can log in now and buy Outback Heroes for only 99 cents. If you love Australian rural romance, then you will love these 6 full-length stories. My best-selling novel, The Outback Governess, is included in the set. It's only for sale until the end of May, so go online now and buy it before it's gone forever. If you are an author who would like to be a sponsor or get a shout out on the show, send an email to sarah@serenadepublishing.com or become a patron at patreon.com/Sarah Williams Author for more information. Right, time for the interview. Today I'm chatting to Regency author Sasha Cottman. Enjoy the show and I'll see you next week. G'day and welcome to Write with Love. Today on the show I'm chatting to Sasha Cottman. Thanks for joining me today.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. So you're a writer of Regency romances, which, you know, I love my Regency romances. So can we start? I'd love if you could tell us about yourself and your writing journey so far.
I've been writing for about 10 years now. A fair few, well, the earlier years were just mucking about with stories and things like that. But I wasn't a big Regency or actually romance reader at all. I'm not somebody who grew up with Mills and Boon and any of those sorts of things. What I did do is I enrolled in a writing course one year at the CAA here in Melbourne, and I got in there and discovered it was actually for romance writing. And I went, oh, bit of a problem there. I don't know those books. And Anne Gracie, who's a very well-known Australian Regency author, was running the course, and she said, well, if you're going to write it, you need to know it. So course, I sort of took myself in hand, went down to the local Dimmicks and said to the woman there, well, where are your romance books? And, of course, she opened this whole massive section of books, and I went, oh, okay. So, yeah, so I started sort of reading those, and then I started having a bit of a dabble and writing around a few stories and things. And I probably spent 3 or 4 years writing the same awful story with a heroine who really was just pathetic and... but it was one of those sort of, you learn your craft type things. But what did happen in that story was that I had a secondary character who just walked on the centre stage and would not get off. And she was not leaving. And basically, in the end, she sort of said to the heroine, you just go and sit over there. You can get your own story in another time, but it's my time. So that was my first... That was our first book, Letter from a Rake, and that came out in 2012. And actually, final was the Romance Book of the Year with the Australian RWA organisation, which was pretty amazing because I didn't think newbies would ever do things like that. Yeah. And that was with Penguin. So I was with Penguin for 3 books, and then finished up with them and got all my rights back a couple of years ago. And then I went indie, which is the best thing I ever did. Look, Penguin were fantastic. They were great people to deal with. I learnt a lot from them. I got wonderfully edited books, and you got to learn a lot about the publishing industry. Though my background is I actually did work in media for a number of years, so I have actually worked in the publishing industry, but as an accountant. So I knew it from the business side of it, not from the creative side. So I started writing those books. So I've been writing my Duke of Strathmore series now since that first book. We've now got 7 books in that series out, and book 8 is currently feverishly being worked upon, and that's out later this year. So, and eventually that will be quite a big series. That's probably going to be about 22 books at this stage. I have had to start writing a series Bible because I keep forgetting people. And where they live and did that person, hang on a sec. So you suddenly realise once you start getting over a few books, it's not unknown for me to actually go and get one of my own books out and actually open it up and go, well, what actually happened in the story here?
Yeah, I find myself doing that all the time. It's like, now what colour eyes did she have? And was she that kind of person? And how did I spell her name? I get that.
I actually discovered that in another author's book series I'm reading at the moment, and I don't think it's her fault. I think their editors have done it, but they've actually changed the spelling of one of the characters' names, and I picked it up straight away and went, yeah, I would have made that mistake too.
See,
I did actually change the colour. Yeah, I did change a heroine's eye colour at one point, but no one's picked it up yet.
Oh, there we go. So this is why we all need a good editor.
Yes. Or a really good Excel spreadsheet that says this person cannot have done this because they weren't alive at that time.
Yes. Well, she's too young to have a 10-year-old child.
What is it? Days of Our Lives things. We worked it out one day that they would, for the older parents to have been the grandparents, they would have all had to have had children at 15. Oh. And the grandparents were like 130 years old.
That would be funny. Oh dear. So your Regency romances, so you set them in England, Scotland and France. I'm guessing there's some good stories and good travel tales that you've accumulated over the years. They're quite good fun. I travelled back to the UK because I'm originally from England with my sister a couple of years ago, and yes, the whole time we were there, she's sort of looking at castles and I'm busily writing notes and yes, he's going to come from this place and yes, and all the rest of it. So you do it. Yeah, I'm one of those people when I travel, I'm like a giant sponge. I just absorb everything and always sort of writing notes and things like that. And there are so many times when you write things and you go, I know where that's come from. I remember where I was. Yeah, I remember what I was doing and why that suddenly has dropped into a story, which is great fun. It is, for sure. Oh, that's gorgeous. And we should talk about the heat level of your books. So, how hot can we expect a Sasha Cottman book?
Well, it's open door. So there's probably on a heat level, they're probably about a 3.5, sometimes to a 4.
Yeah.
I'm finding as I'm writing more books that the heat level is slightly going up, but they're reasonably warm.
Yeah, yeah. So it's not Jane Austen where you're lucky if you get a kiss at the end. There's more.
No. No, my husband's like the hero by the scruff of the neck and say, "Come here."
Nice.
Yeah. I basically write what I want to read, and I like to have a little bit of heat in my books.
Yeah.
They're not sweet, they're not clean, but then again, that's a different part of the market to what I write.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So you've got the series, The Duke of Strathmore. So far we're on 7 books, and you said you've 8th ones coming out this year. Do you have any book covers for us, for those watching the video?
Okay, so this is the first one. So this is Letter from a Rake.
Awesome.
So this is the very first book. If you go on to Amazon, Barnes & Noble, iTunes, etc., you can get that book for free. That book is my permanent free book.
Yay.
So feel free to hop on there, and it's on the website. All the buy links, etc., are there.
Yeah.
The current book that is out is this one, which is, you'd never guess we went for a Frozen theme because it's called The Ice Queen.
I love it.
Had to go for the Frozen theme on that one. So that's an enemies to lovers book, which I had an absolute ball writing in that one. I've got a really evil mother. So The Ice Queen is the current book that's out on there, and it's got a matchmaking dog and a few other bits and pieces. But yes, had a great time with that one. And then the book I'm currently working on, which comes out in October, this is called Two of a Kind. Love the pink.
Oh, it's such a beautiful pink dress. I'm having a bit of.
That's a runaway bride book.
Oh. Excellent.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fantastic.
So, so there's a scene of her running out of the church, down the stairs, down the street, and him going, "Hello, what's going on here?" and chasing after her. So I've even got a carriage chase scene in that one, which is fun writing. So that's the current book. That's Two of a Kind comes out in October. Also in October is a Christmas book in an anthology with a whole group of other Regency writers, which I'm really looking forward to. And that's another one of the Duke of Strathmore series, but it's a mum and dad's origin story.
Excellent. So tell us about the books. Are they're all interconnected because it's a series. So are they brothers and sisters, cousins and aunts and that sort of thing?
So the Duke of Strathmore series is you've got the Duke of Strathmore and his children. So that's the first sort of 3 books in this series, and then you've got his sister's children, and that's the next sort of 3 or 4 books. And so there's sort of like little clusters of the books. Eventually it'll be about 22 books at this stage. So it's going a real sort of Stephanie Lawrence big. But yeah, so they're all sort of like, they're little sort of clusters of the books. But what I'm also then doing is doing the origin stories for those. So whilst it's their adult children, I'm also doing the backstories of all of the rest of the family members.
Fantastic. Yeah.
And they will be in different places as well.
Yeah, excellent. And I love that you do the Christmas stories and that sort of thing as well. I always love Christmas stories in December.
I don't know what it is about Christmas stories. I have one of my books called My Scottish Duke for Christmas. It sells well all year round.
Does it?
I think the thing is that he's got a kilt on the front. He looks like the guy out of Outlander. It's got a castle, and people go, "It's candy if I'm having that." Thanks, and I'm the same. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's fantastic.
Christmas books sell all the time.
Yeah. Well, I'm about to start writing my very first Christmas book. I kind of have another one that's kind of a Christmas book, but this has been my first set in December, fully on Christmas. I'm so excited. That Christmas stories and Christmas movies just make Christmas for me. That's all I do.
The one I've got that's coming out in October is quite fun because it's set in Scotland. So Christmas even sort of just now is not that big a thing. It wasn't actually celebrated in Scotland at the time.
Yeah.
So it's more the Hogmanay type thing. So it's more about New Year's. So Christmas Day is not a religious holiday there, etc., etc. So that's been quite good fun to research a lot of that side of things rather than just the standard sort of, well, here's a Christmas type story.
Yeah.
And of course, being the region, you can't have a Christmas tree.
That's it. That's true. And so you're also been dabbling with audiobooks this year. And for anyone who's been following me on social media, of course, I'm an audiobook cave, or have been for the last couple of weeks. And you're pretty much doing the same thing.
Yeah, look, I think the thing is, I'm a real audiobook fan. I love them. They're a great way to get through books when you haven't got time to actually sit down and read. So of the Duke of Strathmore series, the first 3 books are coming out in audio. They're going through sort of quality control at the moment. So they'll be out in probably the next month. By the end of this year, I'd say we'll have at least 6 of the books out. If you hear a noise, I live on a train line.
It's not very obvious.
I live on the train line, which is great. It's a very, very convenient for getting around Melbourne. So I've got 3 audiobooks. And the great thing with that is I've managed to find a narrator who lives not far from where I was actually born in the UK. And she and I, we've really clicked. So she's currently working on the 4th book for me. But yeah, a lot of work. You would think you would just go and do my audiobook, but there's actually an awful lot of work involved in it. But just actually walking around and listening to your own book while you're doing the groceries in the supermarket's pretty cool.
Yeah, you definitely get to know your book on a whole new level, I think. I'm like, oh, why did I say that? Oh, there's so much repetition. Yeah. Yes. I've been re-editing the next book that's going in for audio. I'm like, no, I've got to make sure I don't say this and that.
I picked up some things and I went, how did I miss that? How did several other editors miss that?
Yeah.
And yet you immediately started in there and, oh, hang on a sec. So what I'm actually been able to do is where I've picked up some errors there, I've said to her, I know the book says this, but could you actually make it this, please?
Yeah. That's it. I've done it too. And you're doing something a little different. You've got a new series of books that you're working on for 2020. I've got the scoop on this one, so you heard it here first.
It's a rock star or bad boy rock star meets historical romance mashup. So it's basically 4 bad boys. And I think there's going to be a 5th one in there as well. So it's kind of, it's a band. And I love those rock star books. I love them. I read heaps of them. And I just thought, I just wanted to do something where if I said, right, I'm just going to tear up the rule book on this stuff. And this is what a lot of historical romance authors are now saying to do. We're going, for us to be able to get to it, the next generation, for us to sort of, make this a fresh genre, we need to be doing something different. So there's an awful lot of that starting to happen. So so this is basically going to be very different. The heat level will be similar to what I currently write, but there'll be a lot more rude words in it. And just probably it's a Regency thing, but it is basically like rock stars. So instead of them playing electric guitars, they play the violin or they play the piano, or I've got one of the heroes who hates Mozart with a passion. So it's just something different, but I'm having absolute ball writing it. It's such good fun because you just go, I can do whatever I want with this. It's still in the Regency, it's still within those rules, but I'm just going to tear the rule book up.
Yep. That's it. And I think it's so refreshing. There's, so many books out there which are sweet and everything. And, I love those books and I love Jane Austen and all that sort of thing. But to do something just really different like this, and I think it'll just pull in a whole bunch of new readers and probably a lot of younger readers too. So well done. I just think that's awesome. I can't wait to read them.
There's a sort of a movement that a few of the indie authors are doing at the moment, when it's called Not Your Grandmother's Historical Romance, and you'll start to see a lot more hashtags of that happening, where we're just saying, that's it. We're just going to take things differently. We're going to have heroines who are prepared to actually do their own thing who are not going to be restricted by whatever rules somebody else is sort of doing. And I think that's makes it more relevant then for the modern reader, because then women can sort of read those books and go, well, I've not got a heroine who just sits at home and knits or whatever. And this is a heroine who's going out and actually doing what she wants to do.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. So we've got books coming out this year. We've got audiobooks coming out this year. Stay tuned for a movie deal as be the next thing.
I'm hanging out for Julia Quinn's series when that comes out on Netflix. So she's got the Bridgerton series coming out soon, which is just going to be fantastic. And again, that'll be a whole load of more people who don't read Regency or don't read historical romance going, wow, what is this?
Yeah, for sure. No, it's exciting days. I love it. And being, an indie myself, I just love seeing new things happen and opportunities. It's such an exciting time to be an author, I think. So.
Oh, it is. And just being able to be innovative with things. I'm having a lot of fun playing with little videos and things at the moment, but instead of making them sort of historical ones, it'll be, I've got a guy and he's, the soundtracks for this Regency Rockstars, it's a rock star sort of theme. So I'm actually using, not heavy metal, but quite rock type things. And you're going, well, yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, there are no rules, like you said, tear them up. That's brilliant. So where can we find you online, Sasha, and keep up with all of these new releases?
My website is sashacottman.com.
Yep.
Or you can find, I'm on Facebook. I'm on Pinterest. I have walked away from Twitter. I just couldn't find it. I just couldn't do it. It was too much work. But Pinterest has become, where I really like to play. And that's great because you can put your videos up there. I put recipes because I've got a blog where I have recipes and things. So, so Pinterest, Facebook, and just all under my name.
Yeah, excellent. Well, that was awesome. Thank you so much for your time today, Sasha. That was great.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed the show. Jump onto my website, sarahwilliamsauthor.com, and join my mailing list to receive a free preview of my books and lots of other inspiration. If you like the show and wanted to continue, you can become a sponsor for just a couple of dollars a month. Go to patreon.com/sarahwilliamsauthor. And remember to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and leave a review of the podcast. I'll be back next week with another loved up episode. Bye!